And that document is available to anyone online if you wanted to see it, and I'll give you, the proper name for that. But the main thing is they were formulated by a wide-reaching group of researchers, educators at all levels, practitioners, sources, people that we would call sources of authority, people who have craft knowledge. So it really was a compilation of a wide swath and group of people across many states. This is in the U.S. who compiled the standards, which are the quality expectations for all who are in educational leadership. They are used to frame educational leadership programs for the selection of the content of what they learn, and also they frame the internship practicum, because the internship would look to the standards and tie activities, not just activities, but a learning situation that would ultimately, we hope, promote the thinking and the deeper understanding, but also it would be benchmarked at, I would call it, a beginning competency. It isn't, the standards are written in a way that, and I must emphasize, they're not written as a requirement, like an administrator must do such and such and such and such and such, and then they are at a level that they are then qualified administrator. It's really a continuum of where you enter in your career and develop along the way towards mastery, from novice to mastery. Does that make sense? Simon, does it make sense? Standards in the practicum. Standards in the practicum represent a comprehensive framework that addresses each stage of an education leader. They provide somewhat of a measure of where one is on a continuum. Now all of this, I'm saying this in the context of being here in Tbilisi, Georgia. In the United States, these competencies are described in practice. So it isn't really complicated, but by looking at a rubric type description of a practice, let's say of teaching and learning or instructional leadership, you would know where you are entering into the continuum of practice from novice to mastery. These are the performance standards. These are the 6 areas that constitute the broad themes and elements that are necessary for educational leadership. You're going to notice that, first of all, that there's a really big one, and that's teaching and learning. The emphasis now on performance standards is that all educational activities must focus on the outcomes of student achievement. And that's why they made the teaching and learning standard 2 very, very prominent. There's another feature to notice: they overlap. None of these standards are discrete, nor do they stand alone. You don't have a vision, mission, and goals without organizational management and systems. When all of it, you would have to have ethics and integrity. And it's all part of the educational system, which encompasses all of the policies, mandates, and regulations, and public effect for performance standards. So we have these 6 appear as the seminal standards, whether it be for school leaders or in the larger, broader context for anyone who really is involved in educational leadership at any level. Higher ed, it could be here in Georgia, ministry officials, people from ERCs, or in any non-governmental agency that touches education as well. Any questions? This is the cover of this particular document that I'm referring to, and you can easily access this online. It's there. It's called performance expectations and indicators for educational leaders. Since internships have been around for at least 50 years, they are changing, and they reflect the needs of society. They reflect the complexity of school administration or educational policy. And the latest trends that they have noticed, which are reflected in that large number 2, teaching and learning, is that the standards must emphasize instructional leadership. And this indicates a change, really, from a focus on managerial issues of running an efficient, clean, safe, orderly organization. But the emphasis now is into instructional leadership and quality learning and for education for all is really the point of it. There's tighter linkages now in internship between internship programs and future employers. Educated novices or students who go through a preparation program have really an impressive body of knowledge. And sometimes this group of people are unknown or are not put forward in a prominent way to future employers. They should have, I think, stars, or they should have some notice that would put them forward as they go into a professional career, let's say at the ministry level or at other levels of policy levels, that would provide evidence that they not only have had academic background in these broad 6 areas, but they have also had a practicum of experience which is demonstrated by the work, and we'll talk about what that means. Also, technology-driven delivery of preparation programs is growing, proliferating. Distance learning, online learning. And so, any comment on that? So those are the trends. This is the label, or this is the official sign of here in Tbilisi at Ilya State University, outside Simon's office, which indicates the office of the new Master in Education Administrative Program. So I just, we have Simon here for later if there were any questions about it, but kind of shiny. It's good. Some of the unique aspects of this program are that it is not just for school administrators. If we have the students here, you'll know that we have students from NGOs. They are students that are interested in school administration, perhaps, or being school directors, but also interested in higher ed, of going ahead towards a PhD, and also maybe at ministry levels or NGOs as well. So it is a program not narrowly for school administrators. There may be in the future, we don't know, there may be 2 tiers or whatever, but right now, the body of knowledge and the 6 standards that I reference do serve well all of the education leaders who would possibly aspire to a professional career in those areas. This is a brief overview of the practicum model at Ilya State University. Is anybody here from the cohort tonight? Oh, there you are. Okay. Maybe your picture will be here later. You are the first cohort in the new Education Management and Leadership Master's Program. It is a 4-semester course over 2 years, 2 semesters each year. It is a detached, what we call model, because there is the course that runs concurrent with the academic courses during each semester. And it is theory to practice and a strong connection to those academic courses that the students then would seek additional experience and then personal reflections in the real world. We have a practicum coordinator instructor for the class. I'd like to introduce her. It's Katie Tadazzi. Want to stand up? So Katie is here to answer any questions